But we begin tonight with the tariff turmoil and the fallout from President Trump's tax announcement.
Welcome, auto enthusiasts and industry watchers. Today, we're diving under the hood to explore the recent mass layoffs at Stellantis. But first, a quick joke to lighten the mood. Why did the car get a job? Because it wanted to be driven. Stellantis, the powerhouse behind brands like Jeep, Chrysler, and Dodge, has recently made headlines, not for a new model release, but for implementing significant layoffs across its workforce. In April 2025, the company announced the temporary layoff of 900 US workers at 5 facilities. This move came on the heels of new 25% tariffs on auto imports imposed by the US administration, aiming to bolster domestic manufacturing but causing ripples throughout the industry. Stellantis responded by pausing production at assembly plants in Mexico and Canada, directly impacting its US operations. These tariffs have led to increased production costs and disrupted supply chains, forcing automakers like Stellantis to make tough decisions to maintain financial stability. Let's be honest, when most people hear the word Stellantis, they still think it's either a new tech startup, a space shuttle, or a premium brand of Italian pasta. But nope, it's a car company. And right now, that car company is doing something no driver ever wants to do on the highway. Slam the brakes mid-journey. The layoffs? Well, it's like telling your pit crew, hey guys, we're going electric, but first, pack your things. It's corporate evolution with a side of existential crisis. Stellantis says it's restructuring for the future, but to the average worker, it feels more like, congratulations, you've just been restructured out of a paycheck. Picture the CEO of Stellantis at a team meeting, all right folks, we're cutting costs. Suggestions. One guy raises his hand, fire the coffee guy. Another chimes in, cancel all the USB ports in the cars. Then someone in the back whispers, lay off 900 people. Ding. Ding ding. We have a winner. Cue dramatic music and a confetti cannon that shoots pink slips. It's funny how, in boardrooms, the solution always seems to land on the people who build the cars, not the ones who order $800 ergonomic chairs for productivity. You can't help but wonder, if jobs keep disappearing, who's going to afford the shiny electric cars of the future? Even the robots on the assembly line are sweating right now. Hey Dave, did you hear? They're laying off humans again. Yeah, but we're next, buddy. AI's learning to weld. In a world where automation is replacing labor faster than you can say Tesla stock, companies like Stellantis are riding the electric wave while trying not to short-circuit their workforce. But here's a thought. If Stellantis becomes fully automated, runs entirely on AI, and drives itself into the future, will it also auto-lay off the executives when profits dip? Asking for a friend who used to work in her. In the end, Stellantis is playing a dangerous game of who wants to be a millionaire. Except, instead of lifelines, they've got layoffs, and instead of Regis Philbin, there's just an economy. Monitor flashing, try again. To be fair, adapting to an ever-changing market is tough. But maybe, just maybe, car companies should start shifting gears a little more gently. Because, right now, it feels like they're downshifting into chaos, with the windows down, blasting a sad remix of Highway to Hell. Here's hoping Stellantis finds the right route soon, and that next time, the only thing they're laying off is the turbo boost. Adding to the complexity of the situation is the growing competition in the global automotive market, particularly from Chinese automakers who are rapidly expanding their footprint with affordable electric vehicles. Stellantis, like many legacy automakers, is under immense pressure to not only cut costs but also accelerate its transition to electrification. This race toward EV dominance requires massive investments in new technologies, battery production, and infrastructure, all while maintaining profitability. In many ways, these layoffs are reflective of a larger industry trend, where automakers are forced to make tough decisions today in hopes of thriving tomorrow. But critics argue that Stellantis, in choosing to reduce its workforce, may be compromising its long-term loyalty and trust among skilled workers. It's a tightrope walk between innovation and attrition, and Stellantis must tread carefully if it wants to remain a serious contender in both combustion and electric markets. The political dimension of Stellantis layoffs cannot be overlooked either. With major elections looming in several countries, labor policies, tariffs, and trade deals are at the forefront of national debates. The Biden administration's tariffs were introduced with the goal of protecting American jobs and revitalizing domestic manufacturing, but in practice, they've had unintended consequences for multinational firms like Stellantis. While some politicians applaud the push for economic nationalism, others warn that such measures could backfire by disrupting existing industries, increasing costs for consumers, and weakening global partnerships. Stellantis' response to these tariffs, halting production in foreign facilities and reducing U.S. jobs, underscores the real-world consequences of policy decisions made in political chambers. This situation has sparked debate about the balance between protecting domestic interests and supporting international business operations in a globalized economy. From a corporate perspective, Stellantis is trying to navigate these challenges with a long-term vision in mind. The company has outlined plans to invest heavily in software development, digital services, and a robust electric vehicle portfolio. It's betting big on a future where connected, autonomous, and electric vehicles dominate the roads. But those ambitions come at a cost, and that cost is currently being felt by the employees on the ground. The decision to implement voluntary layoffs in Italy may seem more compassionate than mass firings, but it still points to a broader contraction within the company. The challenge for Stellantis will be maintaining morale, productivity, and brand reputation while implementing painful but necessary changes. If managed poorly, these layoffs could erode employee confidence and public trust, both of which are crucial to the brand's global image and customer loyalty. As Stellantis moves forward, the industry will be watching its every move. Will the company succeed in transforming itself into a leaner, more future-focused giant, or will these layoffs mark the beginning of a downward spiral? For now, it's clear that Stellantis is in a phase of intense transition, caught between geopolitical shifts, technological revolutions, and financial pressures. While the company insists these layoffs are part of a necessary strategy,